Hey, looks like we're live, Sammy. Can you hear me? Sweet, sweet. So we're doing our second episode of Business Ignite, where business is personal, but we have a lot of topics we talk about. We love to inspire entrepreneurs and inspire people to have a fulfilled life. That's really one of our big purposes of this show. We apologize because I'm actually in Miami at a hotel, so I'm subject to the Wi-Fi here. Sammy's on his phone. He's spending some time with an awesome entrepreneur. And
yeah, Dana Malstaff of Boss Moms. She's up here in LA doing a secret mission, but I decided to ride up with her today to keep her company while she did some filming. So I can't say who it's for, but yes, if you guys haven't checked out Boss Moms with Dana Malstaff, that's where I'm at today.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So Sammy's over in California. I'm over in Miami. And don't you love technology that we could be doing this right now? I mean,
yeah, it's amazing. It is.
That's pretty cool. Very cool. So listen, I had, we rotate topics. We're going on every Tuesday, I think noon. What is it? Mountain Standard Time. And so, we have different topics we're going to talk about, but Sammy kind of asked, hey, man, what do you want to cover today? And like I said, I apologize because we might be a little bit, our signals aren't as good right now. But we wanted to cover, the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event, because I just finished it a day ago. It looks like we lost Sammy, but I'll keep rolling here. And so he said, hey, man, let's talk to everyone about Tony Robbins. And well, Sammy might be in and out of this conversation as he's on his phone. But I had a few, like I said, a bunch of people said, hey, man, what was that event like? And I can tell you, first of all, it was life-changing. I don't know how many of you know about Tony Robbins. Some people saw him in the movie Shallow Hal. I've been to several live events, and they're outstanding, really outstanding. He's someone that, if you don't know about Tony Robbins, he has been, Sammy, you're cutting in and out, but I'm just going to keep rolling, so just jump in whenever you want to, man. So anyway, he's someone that's been through a lot of pain, but, grew up poor. He basically didn't have, his family didn't have money for food. He was abused as a kid. I mean, he's went through a ton of shit. So a lot of people think that Tony Robbins is like motivational speaker and is happy all the time, but he's been through a lot of pain. That's what makes him so, I think, effective. And he talks a lot about that. So we just went to a 4-day event where we're in there for 10, 12-hour days. And Sammy's been to the Unleash the Power Within, right, Sammy?
Yep.
Cool. So I was going to cover a couple of the topics because people are like, hey, what are the main things you got from it? And I think this will be very inspiring. We cover a few things, but one of the first things I got is I really realized, Tony talks about living an outstanding life. And that's something you can say, but when you're around, there was 13,000 people at this seminar. I mean, Pitbull was live and came on stage, played live for just us, and talked to us about Tony Robbins. Pitbull. And the reason he came on stage live was because Tony Robbins was one of the only people that knew Pitbull's mom was dying of cancer. And Tony Robbins called Pitbull's mom every day to try to help her. And he just was in debt. And that's why he did that concert for us. So, I mean, that's the kind of person he is. So cool, man. I mean, I was just tearing up thinking about it. It was awesome. I wish everyone could be there. But when he talks about living an outstanding life, I really realized this is for me, and you can tell me what's up, Sammy, but I realized I've downplayed a lot of the stuff in my life. In other words, if you are, let's say you got 5 friends, and I'm just making this up. Let's just say emotionally, they're good. Emotionally. Let's just say you are great. Therefore, you go, cool, that's the top of my game emotionally. You don't ever go for excellent or outstanding because they're there. So it's all relative. Or let's say you have friends like, you know what? I make $500,000 a year, and you make $550,000, just a little bit more. You're not going to be pushed. So one of the things he talks about is like how we will tone ourselves down. And by the end of the seminar, I was going crazy because I just started realizing how small of a game I've been playing financially, physically, even though I'm like, man, I've accomplished a lot. But if I'm surrounded by people who have accomplished more than, I go, cool, I'm good. But if you start surrounding yourself with people who are doing more, I'm not talking about money, just money, but money, emotions, spirituality, like the whole gamut. If you surround yourself with people who are doing more, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins' coach, said you become the 5 people that you surround yourself with financially, the average of those 5 people, financially, emotionally, spiritually. Really think about that. That's a huge thing. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. Have you, Sammy? He's kind of, I don't know if he can hear me then, but that's a huge principle because, when I started thinking about, it's not about cutting the people out of your life, but it is about realizing like, where are you playing the game of life? How far you step yourself up, right? And so one of the first things that he discusses is human needs psychology. And I got to tell you, that was powerful. I'm not sure how many of you guys are aware of human needs psychology, but there are 6 primary human needs, okay? And this has taken me many years to figure this out, why it was even important. Now, Tony Robbins didn't develop this. This came from Chloe Madonis, a master therapist. And they've now worked with literally, I don't know if it's 100,000 or more than 1 million people. Tony Robbins has touched, he's been to over, 156 countries over the last 42 years. So he looks at, he picks up on patterns, right? And so I'll go through the 6 human needs. I think it'd be really key that you guys hear this, but we're all driven by one or more of these 6 human needs. So one of the first needs is certainty. So the basic human need to have certainty in your life, to know that you are, you're going to be taken care of. Now, some people's, your top 2 needs are what really matter the most because that's what drives you, right? So certainty, knowing you can get, knowing you can get when you can get, knowing that you have food, shelter, those are security things. Now, like I said, some people are more driven by that. The next need is uncertainty, the need for variety, for change. Some people are driven by this and go from relationship to relationship or job to job. That's one of my big needs is uncertainty or variety. By the way, thank you. I got a comment about someone comment on YouTube on my video. Does your frequency match your image? So I appreciate that. It's Dequan. He said, "Man, I love that video." So hey, thanks for shouting out, man. I got more coming, baby. So the third human need is significance, right? So the need to feel significant. I can tell you guys, that has been my primary need for more than 30 years. And it creates, the need to feel significance. Like I need to know someone acknowledging me. I always am looking to be acknowledged. It's very interesting. These needs, depending on where they're positioned in your life, create a whole different kind of person. I can also tell you the need to be significant has been very painful in my relationships because it's almost an ego-based driven need. It's like, I want to make sure I'm acknowledged, but I'm not acknowledging other people, right? The fourth human need is love and connection. The basic need to be able to connect and love. This is a human need that you see with babies right off the bat. That's one of the first needs. They need connection, touch. They need that caring, right? The last 2 needs, the first 4 needs I just went through, are considered the physical needs or needs of the physical, needs of the human, right? The last 2 I'm going to cover are considered the spiritual needs. So I'm just kind of giving a quick overview so you guys can get this because I think it's really powerful. The 5th human need is growth. The need to be able to grow. Now, I've always wanted to grow, but the idea of not growing for just yourself, but growing your life, growing your business, growing your spirituality, that is a big human need. And the 6th human need is contribution. That is the giving back, contributing to others. Maybe it's not just even giving money, but giving your time, giving your ability to be able to help. Maybe you know something someone doesn't know, but you give that back. So have you guys ever, for example, we did this 2 years ago. Every Christmas, we go and buy, toys and get tons of food, big meal, and we eat, and it's all great. But 2 years ago, I put together my crew, my staff in my chiropractic office. I bought, I don't know how many gifts it was, but I went to a church and I got a list of about 100, 200 people who were in need. And I think we could only, visit 30, 40 places that day, but we bought a bunch of gifts and went and delivered it to them. I can tell you, I felt on a high. And it wasn't because it gave me significance, because I felt like I was contributing to someone's life. And I've realized in this stage of my life, money, everyone says money doesn't make you happy. Well, the lack of money certainly makes you unhappy. You can't buy food and you don't have shelter, you're going to be very unhappy. You're not seeking spirituality. You're seeking just to get some freaking food, right? So But when you look at these needs, there's a point in my life where I've made a lot of money and I've made a lot of money. And I go, why am I still not fulfilled? There's another point in my life where, I go, you know what? It's because I don't have enough time. So then I get total amount of time. I got freedom of time. Then I got time and money. And I go, I'm still not fulfilled. And that's where I realized I am pretty, now in my life. I'm like, what is it? Well, when I looked at my human needs, it was about significance. And, you can change those needs to any position or direction that you want. But I realized one of the things that gets me the most high is helping people. It's contributing. It's not just trying to get something for myself. It's really giving to others. That's why I love doing those YouTube videos and posts. And it's why I built a coaching training company called the 1% Business, where I coach chiropractors and other business owners to grow their business. But what I end up doing is working with their psychology, because I know, and you guys should know this, you are capable of producing anything in your life. You guys have heard this, but if you really knew that you could do anything, what would you do? This is some of the questions I started asking myself in this seminar. If you know you could do anything, what would you do? And if you come up with something, you're like, man, I would do this. Well, the interesting thing is, let's say you come up with, you know what, I want to do something greater, bigger, stronger, whatever it is. It's something you want to do. You go, why aren't you doing it? And the connection between it is because your belief system. It's what you believe. It's interesting because we don't get what we want in life. We get what we believe we are. Think about that. This is something that Tony Robbins mentioned. We don't get what we want. So in other words, a lot of people do vision boards. And I've been the master of vision boards. I get a vision board. I put up pictures of all the stuff that I want. And, I work on it. I intention it. And it's like, hey, it works sometimes. Sometimes it didn't. I could never figure out why it wouldn't always work. Well, one of the interesting things about that is, because if you say, I want $1 million, but your belief system on the inside believes that you're not worthy or you can't have that, you will get what you believe. You'll get what you feel. Some people say, I want to create love. I want to find love. But inside, they have a belief system that says, I'm not worthy of love. So you will get what you believe and what you feel you are, not what you want. Because the want comes from the conscious mind. The beliefs come from the unconscious mind. By the way, I'm in a tank top right now because I'm in Miami. I'm just got off the beach, but I wanted to make sure I shot this little quick video live, right? So with those human needs, it's very interesting because you guys can go on Tony Robbins' site and you can determine, actually Chloe Madonna has a human needs psychology test, which I would recommend all of you guys take. It's been incredible for me. But it was really important for me to be able to match my needs with the needs of my partner, because she wants love and connection, but that's not something that I've ever really wanted. Like, I was looking for significance, and we were just missing each other's needs. So matching, first of all, finding out your needs and matching your needs is such a big thing. And looking at where you're getting your needs fulfilled, because you can get each one of these needs fulfilled in a positive or a negative way. That's what's really, really key to this. None of the needs are bad or good. But you can probably look at, for example, let's say certainty is your main driver. Well, if your certainty is your main driver, you want, certainty, it means you're probably going to take less risks. Versus uncertainty is your main driver, you're going to take more risks, right? But there's both good and bad. If certainty is your main driver, you're probably going to make sure you plan things out. If uncertainty is your main driver, you're probably just going to jump. So it's been really cool to be able to look at what my top needs are, and really look at what's been driving me. That was one of the biggest things I got from the Tony Robbins seminar, which, by the way, the Tony Robbins seminar is more like a freaking concert. You guys have to check this out. It's like a 4-day concert, fully dancing, live, stage music. So anyway, that was the first topic I wanted to show you guys, I wanted to cover. The next thing was, you can't manage what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure. Many people try to manage their business without measuring their business. So you can't manage your finances without measuring it. You can't manage your weight loss if you don't measure it, because you don't know how much you're losing. So this is something that's very key. If there's something you guys want to change in your life, and you want to really, you've got to be able to manage it. You need to be able to know where you are, get a baseline, know where you want to go, but you've got to manage it in between the process. That's one of the biggest things that creates failure. Is people, they know they don't want, they're a place where they don't want what they want, and they create a goal, but it's never managed throughout. If you did that in your business, if you just let things go and you don't manage, I can tell you right away, you're going to fail and fail hard. And the problem is you're not going to know what's happening. So managing things was such a huge thing because security is not a big drive for me or need for me. By the way, let me show you guys the 6 human needs on here: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution. And you'll see there it says it's only by meeting the spiritual needs that you'll experience sustainable joy versus momentary pleasure. And that I can say at 40 years of my life is definitely true. Everything else, like when you seek to be able to fulfill just yourself, it's empty. Time, money, all those things even love. When you're giving back to others, that's when you feel like you're making a difference, right? And there's people do that in different ways as well. So anyway, going back to that concept, if you can't manage, we don't measure. Think about the things in your life that you've been wanting to grow and change, or maybe you've set a goal and haven't made it. Make sure you set up some benchmarks to measure. In a business, you need to measure your collections. You need to measure your expenses. You need to measure the volume. Anything that's important needs to have a statistic. You can't manage it. And I know I went 7 years not managing my business, and it was painful. So I want to mention that to you guys, right? Let's see. One of the other things I wanted to mention was from the Tony Robbins seminar. I almost said concert, which it really was this idea of state. And some of you guys even watching this idea of state is like this. Some people live life in this state. How you doing? Good. How you doing? You ever meet someone they're like, how you doing? Hi. Hey, what's new today? Nothing. Same thing. Oh my God, that state will not produce great results in your life. So you have a certain state that you can be in, and that's your choice. And there's a few things that actually create that state that he covers, right? The first thing that creates the state you're in is your physiology. Your physiology, meaning if your body is worn down and you're unhealthy, it's very hard to get in a peak state or a state that feels good. If you haven't been taking care of yourself, that's one of the first things. You want to have a great business, have a great relationship. You've got to be able to take care of yourself in terms of health. So getting yourself into a state so you can be, how you doing? You walk around. It's interesting. We live in a society where if you walk around in like a little bit like lethargy and depression, you're normal. If you walk around going, what's up, Miami? What's up, everyone? They're going to send you to the nut house. You're almost punished for having an energetic state. It's weird. But if you're humdrum and moan, you fit the norm. I just want to point that out to you guys, right? So the first thing is making sure you get into, start working on your health so you can get into a good physiology, right? The second thing is where concentration goes, energy flows, and manifests in physical form. It's your focus. What you focus on, you produce feelings. For example, right now, if you guys watching this, whoever's watching this now and after, let's say you think about something that really, really pisses you off. Just think about something that makes you so freaking angry. Just put it in your mind just for a second. We're not going to stay there. But you'll notice when you do that, you can immediately go back to that moment and feel all the chemistry that comes out from anger. I mean, we can focus there, but the moment's not happening, right? So where your focus goes, and think about this, most of us will walk around, including me. I notice I was walking around in life thinking about what I have not got done. I noticed I was walking around thinking about the shit that's not good. And therefore my feeling starts dropping down. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have bad feelings, because I've been someone who's avoided bad feelings. There are definite merit to feeling bad and sad. It's important you feel that. But when it comes to actually producing what you want in your life, getting yourself in a good physiology where you're upright, feeling good, energetic, like move around. We do whatever you guys do. Go for a walk, but get yourself in a better physiology. Second, put your attention on something that feels good. Now, that means find something you're grateful for. I will tell you guys this. Our mind is designed to look for problems. Your mind will look for problems because that's its base mechanism. This is a 2 million year old mechanism, the brain, that's been trying to protect you and creating survival. So that brain is going, okay, what's wrong? It's trying to anticipate problems here, problems there. It's always doing that. So you've got to stop and look at what is a win and what is good in your life. If you don't do that, you'll constantly be driven down by a bad feeling. Okay? So where your focus goes, you'll create feeling. That's right. Brandon said, I don't want to be pissed. No, you don't have to stay there, man, for sure. So yeah, get into gratefulness. I found that gratefulness, it's funny because I do this every single morning. Check this out. You guys try this for yourself too. You go, let me think about something I'm grateful for. It takes me 5-10 minutes. But when I think about something that like makes me angry or something that's going wrong, I can access it that quick, right? So I think it's really important is train your brain to look for things that are grateful. I'm not talking about being happy all the time. That's bullshit. It's not about being happy all the time because we need those fucking ups and downs, right? We can't just have one without the other. Polarities are important, guys. Polarity is important. Trust me, this comes from someone who's been Mr. Positive. And if you ignore all the shit and you push it down, it eventually comes out some other way. So I'm talking about having the balance, right? That's for sure. So that second one is when you want to create a goal, before you start setting and goal intending all this stuff, have a peak state, get yourself up into good physiology, go for a walk, whatever it is you're going to do. Secondly, focus on the feeling of stuff that makes you feel grateful because you're going to attract something different. If you're going to a relationship and you're pissed off, you're going to a date and you're pissed off, you're going to attract something very different, right? So yeah, that's for sure. So the third thing, I think I really like this is the third and last thing to create a peak state is language and sort of the meaning behind the language, because emotion is life. So the words you use create different emotions. So it's interesting because you'll listen to people's words. Just even the difference of, I've heard people when they're talking about something good in their life, even the way they even say it is like, yeah, but I didn't get this, instead of looking at what you did get. So the verbiage, the words you use will actually change the meaning of things, right? So this is key. So physiology, focus, and language will put you in a different state. The reason I'm bringing this up, guys, is that we talk a lot about goal setting and going for what you want. And a lot of people wonder why when I set a goal, it doesn't happen. Because you set that goal from a place of low energy, feeling like shit, focusing on shit, and talking like shit. Does that make sense? So these are three things I learned from Tony Robbins that really helped me. I give a lot of credit to, because it's just been like powerful. And I've come out of this in just super pumped state. So that's huge. And it looks like we lost Sammy because he was on his phone in California. He was with someone that he couldn't mention who he was going to see because it was actually a big star. But he wanted me to keep rolling. So I've got one more thing here that I want to share with you guys. Tony Robbins had this statement. So check this out, guys. I don't know if you guys have heard the concept of pre-paving. So if you look at a highway, any interstate, they will pre-pave it. Like they put concrete on first, and then they pre-pave it with like tar, whatever it is, right? Tony Robbins said most people, this is just beautiful, most people have a highway to stress and a dirt road to happiness. Most people have a highway to stress and a dirt road to happiness. So it took me a while to figure out what the hell is he talking about. So that highway is super refined. It's smooth, right? It's well paved. And you can drive on it 80 miles an hour. But you got a dirt road. Dirt road is bumpy. There's potholes. It's not refined. And it's hard to get on that road, right? So it's interesting. So check this out. Think about that. Most people have pre-paved a highway, a clear path. It's easy to stress. They know how to get there quickly. But they've also created a dirt road for happiness. That means it takes a long time to be able to get to that point of being happy. And that's what I was just mentioning about when you think about something that makes you angry or makes you upset. You got a highway that goes to that freaking stress immediately. Really think about that. It's super true. And it's such a cool concept. So it's important to start pre-paving, start grinding down that dirt road and pre-paving it and laying down a smoother road for yourself. So, I mean, you guys think about that and you really go, man, it's easier for me to get stressed than it is to get happy. And I'm being honest with you guys. This has been my life, and not just consciously. I don't mean just saying this because you just want to say it, make yourself feel good. I mean, it is a great analogy, right, Brandon? And I'm saying it from the standpoint of uneven unconscious. When you really evaluate and you're honest with yourself. And I hope you guys are feeling my genuine meaning and feeling from here is I walked around with Mr. Positive Conscious Mind, but my brain was consistently thinking about what was wrong. So I've pre-paved a really, really clean, highly paved 80-mile-an-hour road to stress. And that dirt road to happiness, like, eventually I'm going to get there, but I'm going to do it at 10 miles an hour. So it's a cool concept of pre-paving. That you guys might appreciate that. Last thing I want to mention to you guys, one more thing, is I think you'll like this about leadership. Leaders anticipate, followers react. And I can say, when I heard this statement, it just really made me go, holy shit. When I'm looking at the stuff that I react in my life, let's say, for example, who's the president? Who's not the president? If you've got a reaction to that, right, you're following. I'm not saying you can't react to it, but I'm saying, what can you do? Leaders anticipate. So what are we talking about here is, can you anticipate the changes? Maybe there is a president you like or don't like. Maybe there is something that changed with your taxes. Maybe something changed in the economy you don't like. But the interesting thing is, if you anticipate change, most of us have an intuition for change. We have an intuition for the relationships that need to change. I know you guys know that. Family, friends, whatever it is. I'm not saying you should or should. I'm just saying job, career. How many times have you known you need to change something, but you went a couple days, a couple months, or even a couple years, or even a lifetime? I don't want to get, I don't know about you guys, I want to get to the end of my life. And 80-year-old goes kind of like, fuck, I'm 90. There's so many things I want to do and try. Well, that's what followers will do, is they're not going to do it until someone else does it. So I want to encourage you guys, no matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter if you're in a business, working for someone, in a team, sports, relationship, family. I want to push you guys to be leaders and anticipate. You're looking at what is changing in it right now. What's changing the economy? You guys know the next, it could be anywhere from a year to 2-3 years, even sooner, that the economy is going to change. There's going to be a dive. There's always going to be ups and downs. You guys start anticipating this. Don't get to the point where you've got to react. Oh my God. Do you know that some of the biggest wealth in this country have been created during the downtimes? Some of the biggest wealth in this country. Now, there's a lot of people that lost a lot in some of the downtimes, but that's kind of what we're talking about here, is actually really anticipating when those changes are about to take place. So not just, financially, it can also be, in your business, anticipate, hey, maybe the economy is changing, maybe the market's changing, but that'll keep you guys ahead of the game, and you're not just looking at what everyone else does. So hope you guys appreciate that. We lost DJ Sammy. We'll get him on next time. We apologize because we didn't have as good of a setup, but we wanted to make sure we're consistent with posting our live Tuesdays at the noon time, Mountain Standard Time. So hope you guys appreciate this. And hey, thanks Daquan and Brandon, a few other guys for commenting. Super cool. And we got every Tuesday, we're going to come at you with some new stuff. I've got so much stuff I want to share with you guys. So, all right, we'll talk to you soon. As Dr. Goldman signing off, and DJ Sammy and I will be back next Tuesday. See you guys later.